what are the odds for XRP to do a 75 to 100x? That is the dominance to go 10, 12x. If you look at the history, Chainlink did from 2018 to 2021 May, that's like 3 years, in which 2 years the entire market was slow and dropping. Chainlink went all the way up. So right now, if you're looking at the XRP dominance, it kind of suggests like after 2000 days, XRP is breaking higher from its trending pattern. So this kind of goes in with the current price action. XRP USD on a shorter horizon actually looks like it is trying to break higher. We went there yesterday. Day before yesterday, we tried to break higher. But right now, you're observing that the price is trying to go back higher. So we did get volatility, but that volatility goes back to what we discussed. XRP BTC is breaking higher. XRP dominance is breaking higher. XRP Ether is breaking higher. And all of this happened around 2000 days back. And at that time, XRP went for massive 700x rally. So what we are talking here, 100x is, way less than what it has done in the history. But considering that the XRP dominance may go 25% first and have a major resistance, and we have a lot more altcoins in this wave structure with a lot of utility, we would say like, okay, there are others which are going to take part in this run. So we won't say XRP is going to 50 in dominance. Great. So we'll look at 75x for XRP from its wave to bottom. Now, what is the concerning factor? We do have something, right? And then these are the indicators like, okay, the market is not actually great. You see Ether actually move to another base so that it gets more adoption. It gets something better, right? It delivers great stuff. But this is what's happening afterwards. So we need to actually break down what the price action looks like and what you can anticipate from the market. This is the scientific investor family, where the normal retail guys come in and learn how to become the next top 10%. Now, if you look at this, we do understand like 2 days back, we saw a lot of money coming into the exchanges, like $1 billion a day, and it went almost up to $2 billion a day. If you look at that right now, it's not much inside the exchange. Where did it actually go? Did all of them go into the fiat area? No, it did not. Most of it actually went towards the crypto exchange. So those who are buying are already entering the market. So when you go into the market, you see a lot of red. You don't see too much, optimism there. But then you try to see like, okay, what are the coins which are slowly grinding up when the entire market is dropping? So you need to understand money is moving from some of the assets and it's going into some other assets. So you need to have that balance of idea, not just looking at coins which are heavily down, but also trying to make an understanding or getting a better idea of what these assets are doing, right? There are some with huge fundamentals which are actually evolving. Like say, if you are looking at Quant, it is showing you that there is a huge possibility it is making a huge reversal pattern. That's a payment asset. Then you come look at XRP, which is another huge payment asset trying to break through this level. So as you zoom in, you do see that the RSI has already broken higher. So that is actually a huge factor. Now, you can go on a daily look like what was the volatility here. That was a huge volatility, inviting a lot of buyers saying, okay, there is a possibility we may do this. Great. Now you step all the way back on a macro level, which is a monthly, and you are looking at the RSI and the price. Here you can see the base was this, which we created back in the days. Now you are making another one here, which is a higher low. So if you zoom in and understand like, okay, the price is actually following that pattern, and then you look at it like, okay, there is something forming. Fine. And that's on a monthly chart. You need to actually understand that. So once you break that on a short term and follow up that here on a monthly, what you are looking at is going to be a measured move of 30x. So let's say after the breakout, we go for like 80%, 85% and say like, okay, we are going to do a 25x. Now, in the dominance, if we can really do 25x, that's like 70%. And I really don't think that's going to happen inside a market where we have a ton of assets. That is one of the reasons why I actually stated like, okay, most likely we may revisit this area and we may get a lot of selling pressure. Fine. So instead of 75, we are looking at 25. Great. Now, for the XRP price to go that high to reach the dominance here, XRP price will have to move faster. So right now we are observing this range. We need to actually break higher. It is flirting with this level. We need to see it breaking higher. So you zoom out and you see like what is happening. And that's a double bottom. We are still waiting on that one. This is a weekly chart, having the patience. But when you go on to look at a RSI on a weekly for XRP, this is what I actually see. If I try to join this, connect all this below this trend line, we still manage to break higher. So it really is at an area where indicators suggesting we are breaking higher. Have a little bit patience. The price is going to go. Now, this reversal does not actually take you all the way up to that $100 mark or $10 mark. What we are looking for right now is the historical pattern which we discussed. Now, you can use a lot of different indicators. For short-term fluctuation, I would usually look at this and try to put my support resistance zone. But this is a price discovery area. So you can say like there is a possibility of $6. And that is going to be the first microwave for the macro wave 2. So once you see a break here, you want to see the price coming to test this range. So clear all of this and to look at the range of support. This was the previous range. So we are going to come back there. Now you look at the link. Back in the days when it was doing this run up, you had an accumulation range, a break up, that is a mark up phase. Then you go into a reaccumulation, then again another wave up, reaccumulation before the final blow off. So this on a daily, it looks like a long time. Now 3 years is a long time, but when you look at the actual momentum in the price, it is happening in a short duration. Even though it's 3 years of actual run up, if you look at the total days of volatility, that's 60 days there, and then a little bit here, 14 days, after which it started here. So it's like each time you come in, you get 1 or 2 months of bull season, and then a consolidation or reaccumulation. So when we look at XRP and ask for like, okay, are we going to see something? We usually do the same. We are not getting a consistent rally which actually goes all the way 100 days. We get 25, 30 days and you reach and people do sell, right? So you look at the history of XRP, looking at like how long we went, 20 days of upside and sellers came in. Another 28 days sellers came in. So if you are looking at this, when the price actually goes up, you may not actually get a lot of time to take profits. Now you do get an opportunity to take 5, 10, 15x if it's going 75x. But my point here is the time season which you are waiting is actually short duration. And the waiting period is forever, right? If you are looking for that 21 days of upside, people literally waited for 1,200 days, 1,300 days. And then they got that 21 days of upside. If you exit here, you still made profit, but if you had more patience, you came here. If you had even more patience, you took the profit or you waited till the top. Great. So once you understand what the market is about to do and how you are going to see this market, it is actually a biggest indicator for you in your portfolio. You can just go into your portfolio and look like, okay, this is Bitcoin trending. If you are in the market for last 4 years, you use that. If you're in the market for like last 2 years, you use that to see like, okay, what Bitcoin actually did in terms of up and down. As a general indicator, you can say like, okay, Bitcoin dropped 73%. So if your portfolio is 73% in last 1 year, that's what the market has done. Right? If your portfolio maintained above that, meaning 65% you are down, you are still better than the market. But what we want to see here is Bitcoin holding this range, because if it does not hold this range, with the Fed coming out, it is going to be a hard week for sure. But as we look at this level of support, we can say like, okay, Bitcoin price actually came this low, which is the previous level of support, getting a lot of buying power there. The price just went back up. It came close to $2,000. So the candle actually closed close to a support. It actually got this hammer. Usually in technicals, we say, okay, there can be a retest, but again, most likely this is the bottom of this range. So you may actually go back up, test 25,000. Now, yes, when you zoom in, you do have to see price moving up. But right now, what it actually shows you is this level of resistance is slowing the price. So you may have a correction and then a breakout. So if you are on a short-term horizon, this is what you are looking at. You come back up, you slow down, gather momentum. When the price goes down, more buyers enter, the momentum increase, you break through. This is what we are looking at. So now as a general approach, you go look at the market and you see like, okay, last 24 hours, Algorand, which is one of the fundamental assets in the market, is doing like 10% a day when, the general market sentiment is still bad. So what you can actually look at is just jump into that and see like if you can really observe a pattern, if you can really see what the price is showing us. And you come here to see like, okay, this was a trend line, which it was following from some time. That trend line just broke higher. Now it is flirting with that level. It came back as a retest. It is bouncing. And if you notice on a short-term horizon, you also understand like there was a support level being built. Because if you are not a pattern guy, then what you are looking at is the support level, which is being built as a short-term accumulation range, which if you zoom out, we'll understand this was the actual accumulation. This is going to be the reaccumulation range here, because you went up and came all the way back down. Now, from here, when you bounce, it may not actually go to the all-time highs, because first you need to breach this range. So if you are a trader who is positioning yourself inside this range, most likely you want to take the profits when you are going towards this level. Now, if that correction happens to be, now this is kind of something normal, something easy. You go up here, get slowed down, then come back and make this pattern. That's a cup and handle pattern. So you want to make sure you don't exit the market or you re-enter the market. If that's me doing a trade, I would look at that as an indicator. Now, as of now, when you move it to a momentum-based stuff to see where it is building, you can literally easily see like the price is above the 20-day moving average. You are getting the momentum building up and it is clearly making a bottom here. Great. Now, to get a better understanding, what you can do is first go to a 3-day chart. It's on a bullish side, but it is still below the 20-day moving average. And at the same time, the RSI is actually pointing you towards a cup and handle pattern that is bullish. Then you go into a weekly chart to see what's happening. And you're like, okay, we have been trying to bottom out. And it actually shows like there is a huge possibility that we are observing a reversal signal. Fine, but for that, on a macro, a weekly, you need to break through this moving average. So yes, on that short term, if you made a level here and you are going to test this, that definitely indicates there is something changing. So now that's just one asset inside this market. If you are looking at this on last 7 days, you will see a lot of other assets trying to go back up. Chili's, we've been trading this, right? We had our signals like 14 days before, and a couple of months back, we entered different trades at 0.1, that range. Now, when we enter or exit, you do have to keep that in mind. You take profit, you exit if it's a trading position. You don't want to be there for like forever when the fundamentals is eroding. So you make sure you are in an asset which actually moves. Fine. Now, on the fundamental side, we are looking like the market is doing something here and there. We see like a lot of things are changing. This for an exchange which has connection with Binance doing, I'm like, okay, maybe it's the regulation in that particular country, right? India can be a lot of mess because of the bureaucrats. You know how things work in these range. Now then we look at the SEC and I'm like, okay, this is another one, right? Bureaucrats, they really don't understand what the technology is. They really don't take the time to learn what it is, because right now they are arguing XRP represents a common enterprise. So I'm like, guys, calm down, calm down. This is technology. It's a permissionless, decentralized technology which anyone in the world can get on and build. As a normal common human being, if we can understand this, why can't they even think about this? Like, these are human beings who are there thinking like, okay, whatever happens, we are not going to allow this asset to be, adopted by institutions. Why? Because they have their own stuff. As John put this one here, if you are considering this, then you have to actually say all of this as a security, which it is not, right? At least people consider Bitcoin as a commodity, orange groups, whatever you name it is a commodity. And that is one of the reason why when you see stuffs, you're like, okay, this does not look great. Fine, we all agree on that point. And as you look at what they are talking about right now, I'm like, okay, this may not actually go well. They now want even more power, so they are now looking at another institution, which they themselves have given clarity before, and right now they are rolling back. Why? Because they do understand that CFTC may go on and lead in this technology, and they may actually be left behind. So what they are trying to do is to slow this one down. Now for Ether, I really don't understand with all the issues we've been talking about. Now on the major side, we need to actually see the dollar slowing down. It is a little bit slow from last 2-3 days, but that's not what we want. We actually want the price here to fail and come back down, test this range and slow down, because if you zoom out, this is what we are looking at. In general, this is not that small stuff, because this is dollar, which is kind of obliterating a lot of different currencies. So you want this to slow down, and then it will bounce most likely. I think it's going to reach a bubble territory. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think bubble territory means it's going about 120, maybe all the way up, who knows. But breaking this pattern and getting a reaccumulation here does show like there is a huge possibility a lot of people are going to buy dollar, and before that there can be a small sell-off, and that 2, 3 or 4 months is going to be what wave 3 for us looks like. So when we go back to link and look at like, okay, that was like a long time, we are literally looking for that 2 to 3 months of bounce up. It can be like, entire this one, which is like 4 months. Even if that's the case, take your profits. When you see gains 5, 10, 15, 20x, make sure you look at all the targets and take your profits, because inside this market, if you don't take that, others will do that. And wave 2 is a place where you cannot afford to make a mistake if you don't have another 10 years to wait, because you're going to do downside wave 3 and then a bear market, then wave 1 and then downside and then another wave 2. So you have to wait a long way before you see another wave 2. So if you have waited till here, you had the patience to wait till this moment, now make sure you do understand which asset has completed wave 2, which asset is starting wave 2, which asset has completed wave 3, and align your portfolio in that direction, so you cannot say, I'm not watching my portfolio going up when the market take off in wave 2. And if you are here and you want alerts of where things are happening, which asset is breaking higher, where is the opportunity, where is the target, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, where you get to see what we are doing, when I'm buying, when I'm selling, whatever we update based on the market, you get to see that right away. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That supports the channel a lot. And I'll meet you guys on the next one. Bye for now.